6 p.m. in Betua in the east region of the country. Good evening, dear viewers of Equinoxe Television. This is a 6 p.m. edition of the Primetime Newscast on Equinoxe Television. First, our major stories. The technical staff of the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon, headed by the Belgian football technician Marc Brice, continues with preparations ahead of the World Cup qualification games of the Indomitable Lions against Cape Verde and Angola. The team had its third training session today at the Nguakele Stadium. And also we'll take you to talk about tonight, we will equally zoom at the unhygienic state of some slaughterhouses across the city of Douala. Besides the very dirty environment, there are equally concerns over the health of animals butchered in some of these abattoirs. And also we take you out of the country, precisely in Nigeria, where the labor unions have decided to suspend the strike action. This comes after the airports and also flights were suspended due to the fact that they have been demanding that their salaries be increased and that their living conditions be approved. We have details of all these stories and more in this edition of the 6 p.m. Primetime Newscast. Stay with us. Thank you so much for choosing Equinoxe Television. For presentation, I am Immaculate Fogwe. We begin with the over 7-year armed conflict. Another life goes down in the conflict northwest region within the context of this conflict. The Dongamantum Divisional Delegate of Sports and Physical Education, Fonye Derek, got killed in the Taba Hill in an attack orchestrated by suspected separatist fighters. We have details with Babila Jonathan.
Another life goes down in the Anglophone crisis. The Dongamantum Divisional Delegate of Sports and Physical Education, Fonye Derek, died in an attack by suspected separatist fighters. The attack took place as the vehicle carrying Derek was descending the Ntaba Hill. This happened less than 2 weeks after the killing of the mayor of Boyo and the subdivision's basic education inspector, May 20. The next day, May 21, a herdsman was killed during a separatist attack on the convoy of the Member of Parliament for Menchum North constituency and the mayor of Zua between Kumfutu and Zua. In another attack in Bamenda, 2 persons were killed and more than 40 others injured when a grenade thrown by suspected separatist fighters exploded in a beer parlor. All these came on the heels of the killing of 5 soldiers along the Mamfe-Ekok Road in a Yomojok in the Manyo Division, southwest region of Cameroon, May 10, 2024.
Babila Jonathan reporting there. Still talking about the over 7-year armed conflict. About 88 candidates were absent out of the over 6,000 pupils who registered for the 2023-2024 First School Living Certificate in the town of Kumba, Mehmet Division, the southwest region of the country. Despite the security challenges, several pupils were able to brave the odds by taking part in the exams. We have details with Mala Glory.
Most of these pupils in assorted wares from different localities in the town of Kumba, southwest region, arrived at the examination center almost late for their first subject, given that they had to cover long distances and to shun fear in order to write their first school living certificate, which started across the country this Tuesday, June 4th.
The start of the first paper, there was massive late coming by the pupils. Maybe it's because of the little drizzle we had this morning. So many of them came late, but that notwithstanding, they were able to meet up and wrote the first paper without any problems.
Our villages like Teke, Mundame, Malende, Mokonje, to come to town, you know, today's Tuesday. If you have to travel from those places to come here, you can't make it as early as 8 o'clock.
Some teachers revealed that due to the high level of insecurity, some parents out of fear stopped their children from writing the exams. This contributed to the 88 absences out of over 6,000 candidates who registered in Kumba. Due to the ongoing crisis, some pupils from Konye, Mbonge and other villages in the Indian division are all writing in Kumba, thus making the classrooms overcrowded.
2,029 candidates registered, but we registered 18 absences today. We are hoping that tomorrow maybe some candidates may turn up. to write the last papers.
The Inspector of Basic Education, Muketa Terence, says the writing of the first school leaving certificate for the academic year 2023-2024, which ends on Wednesday, June 5th, is going on hitch-free in the town of Kumba.
Still in education, over 83,000 pupils have begun writing the first school leaving certificate examination and the Certificat d'études premières CEP examination of the French subsystem of education today. While some candidates highlighted some challenges encountered, the Littoral Regional Delegate of Basic Education, Leopold Jamen, after a tour in some sub-centers in the Wuri division, noted that the exams were void of hitches, but a few absentee cases noted. Innocent Aze reports.
A total of over 31,000 candidates began writing the first school living certificate examination in 77 sub-centers in Vinkam, Mungo, Wuri and Sanaga maritime divisions of the Littoral region, and over 52,000 sitting in for the CEP Certificat d'études premières for the French subsystem of education in 215 sub-centers. In the Wuri division alone, over 39,600 registered for the CEP, while over 23,000 registered for the first school living certificate, and writing in 91 and 43 sub-centers respectively.
La composition j'ai eu un peu de difficultés en compo.
This pupil testifies he encountered some difficulties writing the first papers. Fear, he says, did not also let him be. However, he tried his best.
On nous a demandé d'écrire et moi aussi répondre à toutes les questions. J'ai écrit le français, la position d'écrit, c'était bien pour moi, mais c'est qu'on va passer.
This deaf and dumb candidate says he is writing CEP for the second time, and this one is more difficult than that of the previous year.
Il dit le CEP c'est plus difficile que celui qu'il a fait avant.
He is not the only candidate with special needs writing. Though with physical challenges, special measures have been taken to enable them write.
Il est question que tous les enfants aient les mêmes chances de réussite. Ça veut dire que l'éducation inclusive est une réalité.
Though the Littoral Regional Delegates of Basic Education noted cases of absenteeism during his tour in some of the sub-centers in the Wuri division, he expressed delight as the exams started hitch-free.
Candidates, invigilators, president of sub-center and member of secretary are present.
Same serenity, he says, prevails in the Mungo, Nkam and Sanaga maritime divisions based on information from his collaborators.
And now to one of our major lead stories. Butchers in Banga subdivision are requesting that council authorities rehabilitate the old slaughterhouse, which is located in a strategic position as compared to the new building where they are now. They are denouncing frequent water cuts in the area, a situation that makes it quite difficult for them to work in a clean environment. Smagic and Gabriel zooms out to the state of some of these butcher houses and now reports.
In the heart of a thick forest is a modern slaughterhouse constructed by the Mbanga Council for Butchers. Unfortunately, the slaughterhouse has been abandoned and the Butchers decry the absence of water as one of their main reasons of leaving the place. There is no water. They have tried in every way to put water to no avail. A slaughterhouse needs water by its side. If there is no water, nothing can move easily. The slaughterhouse up the hill has no water. How do you expect us to work? Apart from the problem of water in the abandoned slaughterhouse, the Butchers do go through tough times transporting the meat because of no good roads. They are pleading with council authorities to open up the roads leading to the old slaughterhouse, which is advantageous to them because of the availability of flowing water. If the government can use the modern slaughterhouse for something else and use the money to rehabilitate the old slaughterhouse, it will be good for us. The Butchers at the Mbanga slaughterhouse are now expecting that the council authorities will be able to help them out in their current situation.
And now we talk something else. After undergoing several months of training, gendarme officers have been encouraged to uphold professionalism and serve the nation. The call was made during a military ceremony presided over by the Littoral Gendarmerie Legend Commander. A.C. Lucy Liengo is a lady on that story.
294 student officers graduate from schools and training centers of the National Gendarmerie.
Welcome to the ceremony of awarding the tribes of Gendarmerie students of the 2022 contingent of Douala Garrison.
The student officers promoted to gendarmes went through a 24-month training in various specialties. Colonel Pierre-Aimé Bikele declares them apt.
Aujourd'hui donc, vous avez devant vous ces jeunes et valeureux gendarmes qui ont montré qu'ils avaient de la volonté, qui ont montré qu'ils étaient disciplinés.
The military ceremony, presided over by the commander of the Littoral Gendarmerie Legion, Colonel Pierre-Aimé Bikili, and the entire staff, took place at the Mbopi camp in Douala.
We call them for more discipline, we call them for more commitment, and we call them for more professionalism, so that the gendarmerie, the national gendarmerie, remains the elite it is.
The officers, on their part, promise to serve the nation selflessly and with integrity.
Je peux dire, je doublerai d'efforts. Ce que je faisais avant, je veux doubler d'efforts, quoi.
The gendarmes have been urged to work harder, be committed, disciplined, and uphold professionalism.
And now out of the country, the situation remains unstable in the Federal Republic of Nigeria as workers take to the streets. They have been demonstrating since yesterday, paralyzing activities in both private and public institutions. Airports have been grounded and flights postponed. Sedu Chakutio reports.
Electricity distribution, universities, hospitals, local air transport and many other key and essential sectors in Nigeria are slowed down or even completely blocked. The participation figures for the strikers are not yet known. Announced a month ago, the strike launched this Monday, June 3rd, is already creating panic in Nigeria. Especially the movement affects the majority of Nigerian international airports. The 2012 strike still haunts President Bola Tinubu. At the time, he and several members of his current presidential majority directly or indirectly supported occupying Nigeria. Demonstrations and occupations led to the paralysis of the country for weeks that year. 12 years later, Nigerians are still not protesting in millions in the streets. To avoid this scenario, ministers and parliamentarians from the majority are begging the main unions to review their grievances. According to the Nigerian government, the minimum wage of 309 euros, thus 501,000 naira claimed, is impossible to maintain. In response, the leaders of the trade union centers challenged members of the government and the Senate to reduce their luxurious lifestyle and align their salary with 18.50 euros, the current minimum wage. Elsewhere, representatives from 48 African nations are attending the first ever Korea-Africa Summit. The two-day talks, which open on Tuesday, are expected to focus on trade, technology, and investment. South Korean officials say expanding ties in the area of minerals and resources would help improve the country's supply chain resilience in key industries such as batteries.
In order to boost cooperation with Africa, South Korea will expand the official development assistance program to around $10 billion until 2030. Also, in order to encourage South Korean trade and investment in the region, South Korea will provide $14 billion in export financing.
Trade with African nations currently accounts for less than 2% of South Korea's total imports and exports. South Korea's outreach to the continent comes at a time when neighbor North Korea seeks to break out of diplomatic isolation.
And it should be noted that at the time this report was being done, the suspension had not yet been announced. The Nigerian main labor union says the one-week suspension is meant to ease talks with the government over the new minimum wage rate. Away from that, we now talk sports. The technical staff of the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon, headed by the Belgian football technician Marc Brice, continue with preparations ahead of the World Cup qualification games of the Indomitable Lions against Cape Verde and Angola. The team had its third training session today at the Nguakele Stadium. We have details with our sportsman, Smart Chikangebro.
Initially fixed for 4 p.m., it was finally at about 4:45 p.m. that the bus transporting players of the Indomitable Lions arrived in Nguakele training pitch in Yaoundé. Under the acclamation of numerous supporters present at the stadium, the players will take their turns in coming out of their career. The players themselves will take time to carry their water alongside other training materials needed for their training session. Within the Nguakele training pitch, the players showed how determined they are ahead of their clash against the Blue Sharks of Cape Verde. Putting aside every other problems currently disturbing the smooth relationship between Fecafoot and Minsep, after brief touches of the ball, the arrival of the head coach Marc Brice changed the rhythm as the players officially started their third training session on Cameroon soil. It was the second training session of the day for the Indomitable Lions after the first session that took place in the course of the day.
And now we take this advertorial. 60 meritorious employees of Olam Food Ingredients have received bronze, silver and gold labor medals for their excellent contribution to the growth of the country. The grandeur ceremony in the economic capital city was presided over by the Minister for Labor and Social Security. Gregor Wuna, accompanied by other government authorities of the Littoral region, the Vice President and the Country Director of Olam Food Ingredients, Joseph Mana, said it was important to give the employees a pat on their backs following years of dedication to their jobs. Annabella reports.
It was a festive atmosphere during the Labor Medal of Honor Award ceremony to 60 employees of Olam Food Ingredients, OFI, in Douala. The grandiose and colorful event was graced by the presence of the Minister of Labor and Social Security, Grégoire Obona. He was warmly welcomed by the General Manager of OFI.
Spécialement vous féliciter pour votre leadership dans votre secteur d'activité.
The ceremony was to recognize the significant contributions of recipients to the growth and advancement of their respective fields in OFI.
There's always a time to stop, take a break, look back and say, no, we have done something great, and let us say thank you to these workers. Let us make them know that they are important to the company. Let them also know that the company is still counting on them, that the company is what it is today thanks to their wonderful contributions over the years. 97
medals were awarded to the employees by Minister Grégoire Obona, accompanied by other government authorities of the littoral. It was a moment of total joy and conviviality.
I feel very happy today after receiving these medals. To me, it's a recognition of 15 years of hard work and dedication that I've put in my field as a journalist, but also as a communications professional, contributing in one way or the other to the building of our nation, Cameroon.
We are feeling very honored by receiving these medals, and we hope that in the next 5 years we will be receiving the next one.
Olam Food Ingredients OFI is a people-oriented company. It offers sustainable, natural and value-added food products and ingredients. OFI consists of industry-leading businesses of cocoa, coffee, dairy, nuts and spices. She contributes positively to the economy of the nation and the social life of the local population.
To keep your business sustainable, you have to make sure also that your own contribution is there in every aspect of what you do. We are a company that is more oriented towards the farmers, and you know how sensitive it is to deal with things that has got to people like farmers. We have a very large farmer base.
With 29 years of history and heritage in Cameroon, particularly in sourcing cocoa, OFI has great prospects.
We are thinking of developing a cashew business. We are also looking at spices. We are looking at nuts. We are looking at dairy farming. So all these things are in the pipeline.
Olam Food Ingredients OFI, as always, is committed to celebrating its staff who relentlessly work every day to satisfy their highly valued customers and also fulfill the company's purpose, which is be the change for good food and a healthy future.
And that's it for the first part of the news. Talking Point is up next. Tonight on Talking Point, I'll be having as guest Professor Mark Anthony Akumbom. I'll be discussing on the Fecafoot Minsep saga, which continues. Good evening, Professor. It is a pleasure to have you on Talking Point tonight.
Thank you very much, Immaculate Fogwe, for the opportunity. I actually want to say good evening to Cameroonians watching at us, and particularly those who are interested in football in Cameroon. I think it is a season where we need to put a right peg in the right hole. It is time for it.
Yesterday, the Lions training session, which was to take place at the Ngwakele Stadium at exactly 3:30, was pushed forward to 5:30. This is because Fecafoot decided to withhold the Lions training kits and the bus. After the tense atmosphere noticed at the Hilton Hotel on Monday, was that the right decision that Fecafoot took?
To be sincere, I might not want to take the position of the Fecafoot at the moment, but at the same time, it is very important to notice that considering a few days ago that, I think that was on Friday, that the Fecafoot president actually called a meeting with the present coach, the coach, had a meeting with him. I didn't think that there was going to be another issue because there was peace. That was, we expected. Peace came up. But on Sunday, if you realize what happened at the Hilton Hotel, the coach, beg your pardon, unilaterally chose to select his own technical staff that he wanted to work with him. Something that is meant to be accomplished only by Fecafoot. That in itself is disrespect of the highest order. And so, asking if Fecafoot should dance along with them, that's why I said I might not want to accept the fact that, okay, they refuse giving the kids because it is for the benefit of Cameroon. At every given moment when football is taking place, Cameroonians are unified. And so, it is the duty of Fecafoot to accompany this team, the team. And even if they didn't actually permit them to be part, they should not withhold the kids nor the boss. It is something that I do not stand for. But I also think that even though the decision was not right, but every human being has a right to react to a situation which is not favorable to him or to her. And so in that case, that was not a good decision taken by the coach. That was not a good thing done by the coach, but also we can't say two rights will make a right, wrong. Two wrongs will make a right, I beg your pardon. We can't say two wrongs will make a right. So what Fecafoot did was not correct.
Professor, considering that the technical staff appointed by Fecafoot was sidelined from the preparatory and related activities ahead of the upcoming matches by the Ministry of Sport and Physical Education, what should Cameroonians be expecting, and how can this decision negatively impact Cameroonian football?
You see, it is easy for FIFA to suspend Cameroon from participating in the World Cup. Why? The management of football in Cameroon is supposed to be done by Fecafoot, not by the government. And FIFA, as a governing body of football in the world, is not run by any political government. It is true that the national team is owned by the government of Cameroon, but it doesn't mean that the team should be managed by them. We know that there are laws, especially the 2014 law decree that was signed by the president, handing over the management of football activities in Cameroon to Fecafoot. So it is actually disturbing to realize that the minister and his team have decided to seize over the management from Fecafoot. It is destructive, and that can cost us a lot in this nation. And for the fact that Cameroonians are football lovers, it is very, very dangerous seeing where the thing is heading to. If we keep on with this same attitude, I am sure within a short period of time, FIFA will be suspending Cameroon, and that will be very dangerous for the nation.
You just made mention of Cameroon being suspended. The Facebook page of the World Football Governing Body, FIFA, has been stormed by Cameroonian football fans who are calling on the organ to suspend Cameroon from all international competitions. Do you think that's the best way of ending this rift?
You see, it is not the desire of most of us Cameroonians that Cameroon should be suspended. I think that there is need for the government of Cameroon to realize its error, because let's be sincere, the government got involved in the management of football, which is not legally their position, and that is wrong in itself. So if we want to solve this problem, let the government realize its own fault, and as well as Fecafoot should know its limits, and let them go by the text. The laws are there written, and the convention is there written to help guide the management of football in Cameroon. So I don't see any reason why there need to be infighting among Fecafoot and MINICEP. It is wrong. It is practically wrong. So it is not in my place to say FIFA should suspend Cameroon from participating in the World Cup, like others storm their Facebook page or their websites asking that they should kind of suspend Cameroon. That is not the solution to the problem. The solution to the problem lies within Cameroon, and the solution is that MINICEP should actually understand its place and give Fecafoot its place and let things be done the way it is supposed to be done. Football management in Cameroon had been done by Fecafoot for a very long period of time. It is not today that it's starting. And so I don't see any reason why Cameroon should be suspended again. Don't forget that before, the government mingled into the management of football in Cameroon, and it cost us. FIFA came in until a normalization committee was set up to put things in order to bring back the management of football into the hands of Fecafoot. And so if the government is coming again, it means the government is disrespecting FIFA. The government in itself does not want the good of this team, and it is bad for this nation. It's very, very bad. I know it is for gains that they are doing that, but let that stop.
Professor Mark Anthony Akumbong, civil society actors, thank you so much for your time. And that's where we put an end to today's edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your keen attention. Stay in the company of more interesting programs. Up next is Equinoxe Soir, presented by Serge Alain Otu. Stay with us.